morning, and welcome to Your Battles Rally Point. I am Cole Werner, President and CEO of Baldwin Priestmeyer and a Master Sergeant in the Army Reserves. My co-host is
Sheila Schneider, Executive Director of the Kauffman Fund and a proud military spouse. Every veteran fights their own battle after service, and this is where we spotlight the organizations that serve as rally points.
the place where our brothers and sisters regroup, find direction, and get the support they need to keep moving forward.
We're being joined by Ashley with Blue Star Families. Ashley, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate the opportunity.
So Ashley, you were telling us a little bit beforehand, you are about to go to the Marine Corps Ball this evening. Hopefully that'll be a great evening for you. So Ashley, tell us a little bit about Blue Star Families and what the mission is for the organization.
Yeah, absolutely. So thank you again. Blue Star Families is the nation's largest military and veteran family support organization. A couple of things that make us unique is that we're research driven. Everything we do is an approach to build strong communities with a focus on human-centered design. So people, whether they're a military family, whether they're in the community, a veteran, wherever they are in their military lifestyle and life cycle, if you will, that they can thrive in their communities.
Beautiful.
So how was the Blue Star Families organization started?
So it was actually started by a group of military spouses. Some of them may have had some veteran ties as well. But in 2009, one of our founders and our current president and CEO, Kathy Roth-Duquette, and a group of other co-founders were talking about some resources that they didn't have in the community as multiple deployments were going from back to back, Iraq and Afghanistan time era. And really they're like, hey, let's do something about this. So they wanted it to be data driven. And so they started essentially with asking some key critical questions and presenting those findings year after year.
I know I could have used this help when we were still serving. My husband got out in 05, so we were a few years ahead of the game. But what specific services are you providing to the military family members?
Yeah, so other than the awareness and being a resource, there's specific services and programs that we have throughout our 14 chapters throughout the nation, and that's where all of our programs are administered. So when you think of things like food insecurity, we have a Nourish to Service program. When you think about things like, hey, how do families stay connected and have resources when they're moving from across the country every 3 years.
Yes.
We have things called Blue Star Museums, which provides access to military families for 4 months out of the year when they're traveling across the country, and you can get to go to all these museums that are considered Blue Star museums. I think about our outdoor program. So that is a partner that we have with the National Park Services where families have free access. And not only the families, but through the chapters, we're able to have some community leaders so they can really get to know the families that are moving in their communities each and every year.
You know, that's really important. I know when we got stationed to Whiteman Air Force Base, my husband was still in Korea. So I came ahead from Montana and did not know anyone and could have really used that service. That would have been very, very helpful that first year while he was gone. So I know a little bit about Blue Star because the Kauffman Fund has helped the local chapter here in St. Louis. But how would somebody go about learning more or getting in touch with Blue Star Families?
Yeah, so they could definitely visit our website. It's bluestarfamilies.org. And then there's a variety of ways they can get involved and learn about our mission and the things that they can do. I mean, I would invite everyone to join our neighborhood. That's a digital platform where you can find out events that are happening in the Pacific area and a little bit more about our programs that we're offering.
So do you have some specific examples of situations where your services really made an impact on a soldier and their life or their families, and that between deployments and housing or any of these scenarios that you guys predominantly support? I would love to hear a win.
Yeah, no, I'm going through my mind of which win. So, I think about what's happening or what has happened the past 41 days with the government shutdown and some of the families facing frankly, some food insecurity, financial insecurity about where they are. And we actually got some information from our chapters and some of our members of saying, hey, like without these resources, without the food banks, they don't know how they would have fed their family that particular day. I mean, this is all coming in straight from our members and our Blue Star families that are across the nation.
Ashley, I want to ask a clarifying question because not everybody understands the difference between Blue Star, Gold Star. Would you clarify that, please?
Yes, no, and such a critical question. Thank you for asking. So a Blue Star family is one that I identify with. It is one that is a family member of a currently serving family member. So my husband, for example, is on active duty. We and my family and my sons, we are a Blue Star family.
And unfortunately, the Gold Star are those that have lost the service member. And I just asked that because when I talk about Blue Star, everybody kind of defaults to Gold Star. And I'm like, no.
Yeah, I think And there's one also important thing, other than the distinction that you made between a Gold Star and Blue Star, is that a Blue Star family includes active duty, National Guard, Reserve Forces, and those even transitioning out of military service. As long as they're currently serving, they are a Blue Star family.
Yes, it's beautiful.
Speaking of which, I mean, reserve side is, with the government shutdown that we've had, active duty and even AGRs, at least through the month of October, and they were paid in October, but I don't think they got the initial November 1st check for active duty or the AGRs. As a reservist, we weren't allowed to drill. And even like this weekend, majority of units will not be allowed to drill because they still haven't received funding yet. Even though it's been released, it hasn't trickled down to their units. And with the programs that you're offering, food banks and things like that, that's available for all service members, reserve, National Guard, correct?
Yeah, Chris, and that's a great call out. So thank you for bringing that up. I think sometimes we think of just active duty, but really the ones that have been like directly impacted are some of those reserve, National Guard, and like others that are, associated with the government shutdown. So yes, all of our resources, wherever you are in your military family career, you're available to get those resources at Blue Star Families.
So outside of the shutdown, which impacted so many people, what are some of the other challenges that you're seeing for the Blue Star families?
I think one of the biggest challenges is like one that you already hit on, Sheila, is like there's over like 600,000 families that have to move every single year. And for those that have kids, we know what that means. It's like you got to find your emergency contact. You have to find a new dentist. Really all the resources that you have to like thrive in a community. So we have a program called Blue Star Families Welcome Week, where essentially we celebrate all the families that are moving into new communities every year. And it's historically the last weekend of September, kind of changes here and there depending on the year and events. But that's a time for each of our chapters and really across the nation, not just in our chapters, to like recognize and see like, these people are moving. They didn't ask to come here. They didn't know they were coming here. And oftentimes they don't have family or friends in those areas that they're moving here. So I think that's one of the biggest challenges that sometimes we don't have to take in unless you're experiencing and doing it every year. And most of our families don't live on installations and bases anymore. I think it's over 48% live off base. So that's added to another challenge of people that don't understand your community.
I didn't know it was that high of a percentage now. That's amazing. Wow. That is something else.
What I would say is it's for the reserves, I would say the Blue Star organization is purely underused. Maybe with the AGR, it could be used, is probably used more effectively, but as a reservist, you guys aren't spoken about. And most of your FRG related organizations is all truly subject to that individual command. Mm-hmm. And that's active duty, reserve, the command and the spouses that support the FRG are really the critical elements that make them work and how effective they are in supporting their soldiers. And I think your organization has taken it to a whole new level because you've made it into a national organization of support that reaches beyond a standard FRG program.
Okay, Cole, I'm going to stop you. Not everybody knows our acronyms.
That's true. I forgot.
What's FRG?
Family Readiness
Group.
Group. But, sorry, I am been in for 24 years, so
Those who have been around the military for any time know that there's acronyms and you learn them, but then when you get outside of the military environment, those acronyms can mean a totally different thing. So
that's very true.
So Ashley, kind of like what Cole was saying though, how could we or people listening to this podcast, how can we get your information out there more? How can we be helpful? What can we do to help out the Blue Star families?
You know, I think just having us on this podcast is one of the things that is like really helpful, because it's one of those things, even when I was on active duty, Cole, I resonate what you're saying, because I was like, there's so many resources coming out of you. You didn't know what you needed and what you didn't need. So thank you. And I think the biggest thing that people can do is kind of, one, just educate themselves, learn what a Blue Star family is, learn how you can help out just immediately in your backyard. And you can do that on our neighborhood platform or our website at bluestarfamilies.org. And then once you kind of educate yourself and find out what sector kind of speaks to you, I think the other biggest thing is like, what can you do to do your part? We have a national campaign, and think about it. It's not going to be the same shape and size for everyone, but I think everyone can do your part, whether it's getting involved in Welcome Week each year and hosting a meal kit for families, or something as large as like, hey, join our neighborhood, become a participant in a chapter, and go to a Starbucks Coffee Connect where you can hear and learn about the new families that are coming to your area.
From what I've learned today, it sounds like you got a tremendous organization and your support level is terrific. Now, what specific things are you guys contributing for veterans and their families? Like you did mention transition, where there's separation of that service, and so what are those programs that you guys have?
Yeah, and I think there's an important distinction. While what Blue Star Family is a definition, Blue Star Families as our organization doesn't distinguish. It's like wherever you're at in your military career. So when you think about the veterans and some support services we have one program, it's our Blue Star Families Career. So if you're a transitioning veteran, or you're a spouse of an active duty member, or even a spouse of a veteran, you can sign up to get resources for specific job alerts that have your kind of attributes, because we all know the MOS and the acronyms and all the jargon that come with it, but it really helps. There's a variety of programs and services through our careers program that helps you translate that, and whether it's resume writing. So those are some specifics when I think about our careers program. And then we've got over like 14 to 15 programs that we have, and it's really just because of that data that we hear each and every year through our military family lifestyle survey.
Yeah, teaching people how to write a resume in civilian speak and not military speak used to be part of my career. So
you get it firsthand.
Yes, I know that's what you did, but let's put it into civilian speak.
You know how hard it is for like a reservist to write a military resume?
And then translating what you actually do for the other side.
Yeah.
Hey, you might be onto something, Cole. Like that sounds like an area.
The reality is, I've spent 24 years in the military. I spent 1 weekend a month, 2 weeks a year for 24 years. Now, how do I contribute all that? Because it's not my day-to-day, and my main focus has always been my civilian career. But I'm just saying, both sides of that coin is very difficult.
What else are you seeing that the Blue Star families are needing that maybe somebody who's listening to this podcast could potentially help out with?
I think one of the biggest kind of misconceptions is, or what we've learned is, according to one of our latest surveys that went out, 45% of Americans believe and truly appreciates our military families and the sacrifices they give, but only 19% active duty families agree. So there's a large disconnect there. It's like, hey, everyday citizens think that they're really supporting, but then that 19% that are on active duty don't feel that same sentiment. Again, it kind of goes back to like educating yourself on what a Blue Star family is, and then having that conversation with someone that you may know is serving, or a family member, because it truly is the whole family that serves. I would really challenge the listeners today is to kind of like visit boostarfamilies.org and then see how you can volunteer, see how you can give back, whether that's a monetary donation, whether that's getting involved. Everyone can do their part at whatever level.
Yeah, true.
One part to follow what you said, Ashley, is the spouses aren't recognized. So, I go and I can get a military discount. But at the same time, my wife has gone to places, and getting a military discount. She shows her military ID and they're like, you're not a service member. And they don't offer, I'm just using this as an example of the value proposition of a family versus a service member.
Right.
The reality, just like you said, is the entire family serves. Miss games to deployments to birthdays, anniversaries, all of those things, or the financial burden of a deployment and the stability of your household in general.
Yes.
And I'm speaking as a service member. I'm not the one in the trenches back home. That's Sheila. That's you. The reality
is 15 times.
Now I get the brunt of the phone call on the other end because I'm not there. I need to go to get a beer with the guys when I'm on leave. But my part in saying is that is truly, I really agree with that 19% of your active duty family members saying they don't feel supported because, yes, everybody's rah, rah, rah right there with a service member goes in and gets to a restaurant in his uniform and getting it. But at the same time, you're not getting it when you walk into that place. Sheila's not getting it.
Whenever I was on active duty, both my husband and I deployed to Afghanistan. We were not married at this point. And I was like, this isn't bad. He's there, I am home. But now that we have kids and I'm the one that's at home, in my opinion, this job of being the one that's kind of behind and holding down the home front is far harder than what I experienced on active duty. It's like truly what you're saying resonates. You see brands every day, like we have some big partners like Chobani and Target, and they're stepping up to do their part from a corporation by adding perks, not just for the active duty service member, but for the entire family, where we can see that with those resources. And that's the ones, listen, my husband wouldn't be able to do what he does now, tooting my own home if I wasn't here holding down the fort when he has to deploy every 6 months.
Definitely true. My husband, after he came back from his second one-year tour of Korea, we were moving on base, and there was, of course, 15,000 inspections to move on base. And one of them, I couldn't make the inspection. I had something at work. And so he asked off to be able to do the inspection. They're like, just have your spouse do it. That's what they're here for. And he's like, listen, I've been gone for a year. She's used up all of her PTO every time the kids got sick.
Exactly.
Like, I need to do this. And so, yeah, so it's interesting being the one at home, making all those appointments, making sure everything's running correctly, making sure everything gets delivered to the new place.
Right? And let alone being a working spouse, as you said, you're using your PTO. I'm the first one that gets the call if someone's sick and has to go pick up from school. So yeah, that's a real point.
Real point.
Well, and again, I was not in the position, so I'm speaking from the outside point of view. It's beyond the deployments. The caregiver role or the support role that's provided, that's every day. It's not a deployment. It's right now, Ashley, who gets the phone call to go get the kids?
Right.
Your husband's not deployed.
Yeah.
He's working. Is he the first phone call, or are you?
No, it's always me.
It's
always me.
My wife is the maintainer of the calendar. She's the one that takes the kids to 90% of the doctor's appointments, the dentist, and everything else. I do it when she specifically tells me I'm going to. And these are the parts where I'm saying, beyond just military in general, it's the recognition of the entire family should be provided.
Right.
And that's the only point that I'm trying to emphasize is, thank you.
Hey, thank you. I know, it's funny now. So some of my colleagues / more, I'm doing a program at USC, so after moving to California, and they'll be like, "Oh, thank you for your service." I'm like, "Thank my kids. They didn't ask for this life. He's got to like do another school transfer and meeting new friends." Like, yeah.
So, Ashley, as we kind of wrap up, what's the last thing you want to make sure that everybody knows about Blue Star Families?
Is that there is a Blue Star Families in every zip code of the United States, wherever they are in that military career. And to really I challenge everyone to do their part, just like these corporations like Target and Chobani and Black Rock Foundation are doing. I really challenge that we as individuals, small, large corporations, can all do their part. And so like, come, I invite a phone call, I invite an email, so they can learn how to do that and how we can have these partnerships.
Ashley, we appreciate you taking the time today, especially given the time zone issues. And thank you for being with us. And we just really appreciate the outstanding work that the Blue Star family is doing on behalf of the military family. And again, thanks for taking some time to share your mission with our community. And, it takes all of us.
Thank you all for having me. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you.
And as a reservist currently working or any active duty unit, I would strongly encourage your FRG or Families Readiness Group to contact Blue Star Families and make them familiar and reach out for all your family members to know who they are.
Absolutely. Thank you.
All right.
So that's the wrap of our episode of Your Battles Rally Point, where we connect our veterans and service members with available resources to help their families. So again, thank you very much, Ashley, for your
Thank you, guys. I appreciate it.
No.
And I hope everybody has a good evening.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you.